This is January 1st, 2025. Welcome, everybody, to our very first show, our pilot show, if you will. I am Brian Springer and joined by my co host, Bobby, in New York. Say hello, Bobby. Hello. So, I wanted to start off talking about some of the things happened in 2024, some more interesting things, at least. But as I was getting my last cup of coffee, I saw on the news, I don't know, did you see this? Apparently, 10 people are dead, at least in New Orleans, because somebody decided to drive a vehicle into a crowd in Bourbon Street. Did you hear about that?
I did not.
Yeah. So we're going to kick off the new year with a bang, I guess, of killing people randomly. I have no idea why there has to be such violence in this world. I'm about tired of it. Anyway, some of the more interesting, notable things that I see from 2024. You're going to have to help me with pronunciation here. Odyssey, Odysseus, I don't know. The moon lander became the first private spacecraft to land on the moon.
No,
I don't even remember that, to be honest with you.
I don't remember that either.
But I
What
mean,
country?
I really didn't look that far into it. Oh, it's a U.S. owned spacecraft, so I'm guessing it's probably one of Elon's things from SpaceX.
He's the
Um,
only one really capable of something like that that I can think of off the bat. And a Blue Origin can only barely get off the ground.
yeah, well, apparently this particular spacecraft had a problem as it tipped on its side during the process.
Oh, I did hear about that.
But I mean, we know all the moon landings are fake anyway, so we don't have to really concentrate too much on that.
Mm,
hmm
turning into a conspiracy show.
France was apparently the first country in the world to include access to abortion in its constitution. Now, there's a discussion for you. Good God, abortion has been all over the news around here, especially with the presidential election. So I didn't know anybody had actually done that, but apparently France decided they want to put it in the constitution. So yay for France. Vladimir Putin. He won the Russian presidential election again.
Oh, that's a surprise.
Isn't it though? I mean, I didn't know.
I'm sure they got fair elections in Russia.
Was anybody even fighting or running against him?
I don't know. I don't even know that they had an election.
Well, apparently the Russians like what he's doing during the wars. They keep electing him. Um, Something a little more closer to home. Remember the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore?
I do.
Remember when the cargo ship ran into it, knocked it
Yeah,
into the water?
accidentally.
Right, right. It said the cargo ship was only going about 9 miles per hour. Mm. Knocked the
Well,
whole dang bridge in.
well, you have experience driving trucks. It doesn't take much to destroy something. You can be going in creeper gear in a tractor trailer and just completely wreck a car.
This is true. This is true. Although I don't have much experience driving a cargo ship, but I imagine there's a whole lot more damage causing power there.
A little bit more weight.
Mm. Says here Taylor Swift became the world's first musician to become a billionaire solely from songs and concerts. Nobody cares about Taylor Swift. We don't even like her. So move on. Um,
Amazing singer. So much
okay.
talent.
Yes. Something else fun. Donald Trump, one of our most loved presidents ever, was found guilty of 34 felony counts of falsified business records. That's been a shit show since day one. Good God. There's all kinds of stuff on this list that I can't really see anybody caring about.
No.
Uh, Again, Donald Trump. In the news on July 13th, survived an assassination attempt in Pennsylvania. Hmm, that was interesting. Some conspiracy theories around that too, as well, I think.
Well, one or two. But it was an act of God to keep him alive.
An act of God or an act of a bad shooter. Gracious. Apparently, there's a lot of death, devastation, catastrophic flooding around the world.
Carolina being abandoned by the federal government.
Oh, Lord. Here we go. So, I want to make it clear to everybody here this is not a conspiracy show. This is not an anti-government show. When we talk about politics, I will go ahead and throw it out there. Myself and Bobby are more conservative, but we will try our best to be as unbiased as we can, and we welcome the opinions of all. Oh, goodness gracious. I should have some sort of a disclaimer somewhere, maybe in the show notes or something, just because you're on the show. God almighty. It says the world's longest treasure hunt ended after 31 years. I didn't hear anything about that, did you?
No, is that the Oak Island treasure hunt?
No, I think that one's still going on. This is actually a 31-year treasure hunt for France's famed golden owl.
Did they find it?
It ended with the discovery of a bronze owl.
Oh,
So
so
I guess maybe bronze over gold. I don't know.
maybe it was bronze the whole time and not gold, and it was just
I'm not sure. It says the hunt began in '93 when a gentleman by the name of Max
when it was.
Valentin published some sort of a French-sounding book. I don't know what it is. He left 11 clues leading to the location, which he buried in France, and the finder would win the sculpture valued at over $160,000. You know
I
why
think
we
I'll
didn't
just
hear
keep
about
the
it?
owl.
Yeah, probably. I think we didn't hear about it because it really wasn't that important.
Probably. Who cares?
Mm-mm.
Just
Yeah.
an owl.
Let's see. Donald Trump was reelected as president. What? When did that happen?
Oh,
Did you hear anything about that?
I think that's fake news.
Probably. More conspiracies around here. Um, a
So how about
literal.
those UFOs in Jersey?
Oh God, I don't even think we've gotten to that yet. We keep talking about conspiracies. Jesus Christ. I mean, they don't really talk about them much anymore. When it first came out, it was all over the news.
Well,
Here,
there
there, a
were
little bit
thousands of
everywhere.
them yesterday.
Really?
Yeah,
Now, are you talking about like a drone light show for the New Year's?
maybe.
Maybe. Okay. Yeah, I thought so.
So maybe that was just practice for the light show, and they didn't tell anybody. They wanted to keep it a secret to
Well,
make it a surprise for New Year's.
you think? You think that's why the president-elect, former president, because we love both those terms, Donald Trump came on and said that the government knows all about them, knows where they came from, knows where they went, but just ain't going to tell you. Well, maybe after New Year, now that it's over, we won't see or hear anything else about these dumb drones.
Till they
But
get shot down.
I promise you one thing: if they come from New Jersey down here to North Carolina, they're going down, buddy. These mountain boys out here are itching to see something in the sky they can shoot down. I mean, it was all over the news, and when it first came out, every time you turned on the news or looked on TV or saw a website, it was just drones this, drones that, UFOs and aliens. And, I don't know, it just kind of died out. Which is, another reason I think that I always say Americans as a whole, even though I love my country, we have ADD. If something will come out, we'll concentrate on it for a little while. We'll be all about it. Oh my God, this happened, that happened, blah, blah, blah. Maybe a good week or two. And then it's gone. And the next thing is out there. So I don't know. Apparently a banana duct taped to a wall sold for $6.2 million in New York.
Yes.
Is
I
this
did.
art now?
Yes. That was art. That was a real thing. I remember hearing about that on the news. And then the guy ate it.
Yeah, it says here the owner, a cryptocurrency enthusiast, held an event in Hong Kong on December 2nd where he ate the $6.2 million banana. Wow. So we have art like in Paris in that place what they call the Louvre. I can never pronounce it right. We have these expensive art pieces, the Mona Lisa, all these canvas oil paintings, George Washington crossing Delaware, all kinds of nice stuff. And this guy duct taped a banana to a wall, and this is art?
Do you have a banana and some duct tape?
I'm not doing it.
No? Oh, okay.
I mean, I doubt somebody else is going to pay $6.2 million for a damn banana duct taped to a wall.
You'll never know until you do it.
That is absolutely crazy. Good God.
I just don't happen to have a banana.
No. A little sad news from 2024. One of my favorite singers, Toby Keith, passed away.
I know was sad.
It was. He was 62 years old. I didn't even realize he was that old. My God, 62 years old. Didn't he? Didn't he have cancer or something?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, that's sad. That is sad. So I mean, we had a lot of things, and I'm looking on this list that nobody really cares about. But we had a bunch of things happen. I mean, are there any notable things, any interesting things that you could bring up that you could think of was very interesting 2024 to you?
Can't think of anything that you already said.
Oh, they talk about a Sudanese civil war. Didn't know about that. Don't really care. The Russia-Ukraine war grinds on year after year. It doesn't seem like either side's really making any kind of headway here, but
No, well, that's
continue
another
going.
conversation. Another not conspiracy theorist conversation.
My goodness. Mm-mm-mm. So, yeah, a lot of different things happened in 2024. Good and
Oh,
bad, of course. What's that?
well, there was all those wonderful Boeing incidences too.
Tell us about that.
Oh, well, the all the failures that the Boeing was having, like doors flying open and falling off planes, and engine rings falling off, and all sorts of things.
God, could you imagine being on a flight 32,000 feet in the air, just cruising, watching your little movie in front of you, and boom, the damn door just flies off?
Emergency door. It looked like the whole wall just got like ripped out in that section where the door was. Like, what are they making these planes out of these days?
I don't know. What even causes that? Did they ever say what happened with that?
Poor maintenance, I think, is what they're blaming it on. But it's only on Boeing aircraft.
Poor maintenance. I don't think that would be good enough for me. Good gracious. Poor maintenance. Just flying along and boom, damn door just flies off. Parts fly off. No.
A door plug that blew off of Alaska Airlines plane.
Yeah, I was just looking at that same article. About 16,000 feet it flew off.
Yeah.
Was that also a Boeing?
Yeah.
Hmm.
There's a Boeing 737 MAX 9.
Well, I don't believe I'm going to be taking any kind of flights anywhere anytime soon. Good God.
Had that
Okay.
eclipse.
We did have an eclipse this year, didn't we?
Yeah. Total blackout.
I didn't see a whole lot of it from North Carolina, to be honest with you. I mean, as I recall that day, it got what I would describe as a little overcast here, but not dark.
We had like a 90% coverage, and I remember it getting significantly cooler out, but it did feel a little gray,
Hmm.
kind of like that overcast, like you were saying.
I know when I was a kid, eclipses were very interesting to me. Of course, the teachers would hype them up and make them a big deal and take the whole class outside and everybody look at the eclipse. But don't look directly. We made these little special glasses out of paper or whatever that were going to save our eyes. But yeah, as an adult now, they don't hold the same excitement for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking January 13th apparently. Boeing again. Flight in Japan had to return after a crack formed in the cockpit window. Good lord.
Well, that's scary.
Imagine being that daggone pilot, just flying along, chilling, and boop, your cockpit window cracks. Hmm. Mm-mm.
And those aren't supposed to break.
No, no. Mm. Apparently, not that I really care to be honest with you, but apparently there were AI generated explicit photos of Taylor Swift that were shared, but
I
quickly
did not see
removed.
that.
I'm just guessing her little boyfriend, Mr. Kelsey, probably had a fit about that.
Huh.
Not a whole lot of things on here that are super interesting that really anybody cares about. So, some other things that you wanted to talk about on the show?
Well, just other than this morning's coffee choice,
This
which
morning's coffee choice.
I was
That's a
actually
great
kind of
choice.
no, I was actually disappointed with it, and I know you're a big you got that man crush for this guy, but the coffee's not that great.
I don't know if it'd be a man crush for the guy. I mean, what he's talking about, folks, is fire department coffee. And uh, I was introduced to it because I watched some TikTok videos, and the guy, one of the firefighters who started this, I believe his name is Jason, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so.
Um, you know, he does a lot of skits on there, and they're funny and all, but he started promoting fire department coffee. I said, well, I got to try some. So I got me some, and I loved it. I really think it was good. I mean, I don't think I drank it and went 1,000 miles an hour. I don't think, you know, I drank it. And, oh my God, I'm so in love with it. But it was good. It was good coffee. So your thoughts on it are?
Oh, I've tried it two different ways with the percolator and with French press. The French press was still a little bit stronger, but still wasn't very flavorful like I would experience with Black Rifle.
So you are choosing Black Rifle coffee over fire department coffee. Is that right?
That's correct.
And I haven't tried Black Rifle coffee yet. I do plan on it though. What makes it better?
It's flavor. Just it's got more of it.
And just a side note here, we're talking about this coffee and using their actual names. If you're either one of these companies, please don't sue us. I don't think it's a bad thing to talk about your brand. I love fire department coffee. He likes Black Rifle coffee. I'm sure we're going to like both of them. We're not saying anything negative about either one. So, and
You feel
if
better now?
I do feel better, I'm just so nervous that somebody's going to be like, "Hey, they're talking about my company. You know, let's sue the crap out of them." Listen, you can send me a letter, sue me. I didn't got no damn money, so I don't know what you're going to get out of me. But you know, I'll try some fire department coffee, and maybe we'll do a side by side tasting one day. Do something like that.
Oh, while we're doing side by side tastings, why don't we do a Whopper and an Impossible Whopper?
We are not. I'm telling you, I'm not eating an Impossible Whopper. There's no way. There was no reason in the world for them to even come up with this junk.
You don't know that it's junk. You haven't tried it.
I mean, it's plant. Was it plant-based meat? Isn't that what they say it is?
Yeah,
What in the hell is plant-based meat?
it's a plant-based patty that's got meat flavoring,
This-
but it tastes really good. So
that doesn't even make sense to me. That doesn't make sense to me at all. A plant that's trying to be meat. There's no reason for it. I'm not vegan. I'm not vegetarian. I love meat. So I can't bring myself to try the Impossible Whopper. I would have to be completely tricked. And of course, if you try to give me a Whopper, I'm not eating it. So I already know what you're going to do.
actually, it might actually be better than the original Whopper.
See, that's just blasphemy. There's no reason to say something like that on here. No, I mean, no. Mm-mm.
It just tastes fresher for some reason, I guess, because nobody ever orders it. So when somebody does finally order it, you're getting a freshly cooked one.
We'll just ask for a fresh Whopper.
We'll have to try that sometime. Get two fresh ones.
I'll let you do that.
We'll do it at your house.
Good gracious, no. So back to the original story, talking about the coffee. I would just like to throw this out there. If Mr. Jason, I believe is his name, from Fire Department Coffee wants to send me some free coffee, or Black Rifle Coffee wants to send me some free coffee, I'd be more than happy to take it. Of course, I'm pretty sure they won't since we have like 0 listeners, maybe 1 or 2. I don't know.
At least two, because we'll go back and listen to ourselves.
That gives us 2 listeners right away, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Outstanding. Look at us. We're already growing.
Hmm.
Big time. Big time. We're already big time up in here. Over time, we'll grow, hopefully. My goal isn't to become super famous with this, but just have an outlet to have fun. And if we grow listeners, great. If we eventually grow big enough to have ads and monetize, wonderful. If not, I'm still okay with it because I'm just having fun doing this. And we're all just here to have fun.
Well, what's in the current news? Is there anything new for the year?
So far, the only thing I saw was the person who drove their vehicle into Bourbon Street and killed 10 people.
Last night.
Um, I couldn't say if it was last night or this morning. I guess past midnight would be this morning technically. So here it is. ABC News, or I'm sorry, NBC News. At least 10 people killed by car driving into crowd in New Orleans. 30 others injured. It says early Wednesday, the suspect also opened fire on 2 police officers. So they're calling it a mass casualty incident involving a vehicle drove to a large crowd on Canal and Bourbon Street. I have no idea why they would do something like this. But they are calling it a terrorist attack. It says the mayor, Latoya Cantrell, said, "We do know that the city of New Orleans was impacted by a terrorist attack."
Everything's a terrorist attack. If it happened in public.
Yeah, I guess so. Apparently, the FBI said it was unclear whether he had explosives in the vehicle. I'm sure by now they know, but they haven't put it out there. But they said it was being investigated as a potential terrorist act, and I'm not sure why, but it was a horrific act of violence. I don't know what pushes somebody to do stuff like this. I really don't.
Oh, an interesting thing, off topic a little bit. It is in the news. California came up with a new ban.
Oh God, what the hell are they banning now?
Octopus farming.
Well, first of all, I'm gonna be honest here. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Well, it was a thing because people eat octopus on a regular basis, but now they have concerns about animal welfare and environmental impacts.
Animal welfare. So we're worried about the welfare of the octopus, which is being farmed solely for eating, and
Probably. I can't
environmental.
think of any other reason why you would farm octopus.
I can't think of any reason to farm them at all. Why do people even eating them? I tried. I guess it was octopus one time at a Chinese restaurant. Those little tiny octopi. Is that what you call them? Octopuses? Pie? I'm not sure. I
So
didn't like it.
California is the second state to prohibit octopus farming and the first state to ban the sale of farmed octopuses.
Well, who was the first state to ban it?
It doesn't say. I'm really disappointed with that. It's a horrible article.
Interesting. I can say I never in my life thought I would have the conversation about octopus farming. But hey, here we are.
I didn't expect to see that in the newsreel today.
You know, I gotta say, I feel bad. You and I both missed this. I'm talking about 2024. Neither one of us mentioned the passing of Jimmy Carter, former president, which happened not too long ago. It was a pretty somber event for most of America, but poor Jimmy Carter has passed away. And did you hear? Oh my gosh, who was it? Um, right offhand, I can't think of who it was, but I saw this article the other day that somebody sent condolences to his wife, and she's been dead over a year.
Wow.
Yeah. So they weren't thinking, but I guess their heart was in the right place. Oh, another thing. Our current president, Joseph Biden, with all of his death sentence commuting everybody's death sentence so they didn't have to die and just live out their life happily on death row. That was another interesting article.
Get what's with all the crime in New York City lately. I mean, with the lighting people on fire, pushing people in front of subway trains. What's going on there?
It's New York City. I mean, that's all you really have to say. It's New York City.
It's New York City. It's just regular thing there.
I mean, it's a Democrat-controlled city, been a blue city for a long time, and they just don't care. They let everybody run rampant there. There's so many people, the police can't do anything, and when the police do something, everybody cries police brutality, this or that. They get pissed off and mad. So, I mean, what are you supposed to do? So eventually that's just going to happen. And look at the majority of these blue cities. It's the same way. I mean, God, look at Detroit. It's horrible there. New York City's getting on par with them.
Yeah, it used to only be in California, LA that you used to hear stuff like that going on.
Well,
And over the years, it's spread across the country.
New York
What
City's not
about?
going to be outdone by anybody. I mean, come on, they're going to try to do better than anybody else.
Wasn't there that gang in Colorado that took over like a town or something?
Yeah, I want to say maybe they were Venezuelan, perhaps. Let me look this up while you're mentioning that. Was it not in?
or an apartment complex. It was something like that, but they took over it with guns, and nobody just seems to care. It's like, oh no, that's not happening. The people there are looking for help from their local government, and the local government says like, no, that's not happening. It's not true.
Right, right, yeah. They
So
said it was a
it's
gang takeover of an apartment building in Aurora, Colorado. They says the Venezuelan Tren de Aragua gang began taking over Whispering Pines apartment in late 2023, which worked itself right into 2024. And I do remember the videos, these gang members with looks like long rifles with scopes, knocking on people's doors, walking in, just taking over their apartments, and then taking their money, stealing from them. But
well, it's just tax for being in your area.
right, right, right. And the landlord apparently of the apartments was saying, "Hey, this is happening. We need help." And I think it was the mayor. It could be.
Yeah, I believe it
Um,
was the mayor.
yeah, was denying, saying no, that's not what's going on. Whatever. So some people wanted help, some people didn't. Not wanted help, excuse me. The people in the apartments, I'm sure, did want help, but nobody wanted to go help them. I never really heard how that ended or anything. It just kind of, again, America has ADD. It just kind of went away.
Yeah, just like the cats in Ohio.
The cats in Ohio.
Yeah, they just went away.
Now that you mention it, I vaguely remember something about that. What was that situation?
Well, they were what was it? They were blaming like the Hades or something for eating the cats, and they needed to get rid of it. It was another illegal immigration thing, and they were
So the
let's
Haitians were eating cats in Ohio.
see.
Like they were just walking into people's homes, stealing their cats and eating them for lunch.
Well, that seems to be the thing that they were accusing these people of.
The Haitian migrants up in Springfield area. I think that's what the story said. Springfield, Ohio. But they denied the claims that the migrants were abducting and eating the pets. Another government denying anything's happening. But my thought is, if you're, say, anti-immigrant, you're on that side of the fence, and you just want to get rid of the Haitians in your area, don't you think you would come up with something better than, hey, they ate my cat?
I'm looking at some pictures on there. It's pretty funny. But apparently it was a hoax. The guy made this fake post on Facebook and it just exploded. He didn't expect it to go viral like it did.
I mean, do people not understand what social media is these days? People take social media to be law just about. You put something on Facebook, oh my God, it's absolutely real.
It's fact, you know. It's
I mean, I have had people argue with me over stuff they saw on Facebook. I mean, you can easily go in there and just put whatever you want. People just believe it. It's the world we're living in today.
maybe one day we'll have to do an evening show where we can try some other beverages. One that I would like to try, even though I know I'm not gonna like it, but I would like to try it. Ah, well, I was just scrolling on Facebook looking for things for an example of fake news when I came across James Gin ad. Like, I gotta try some of his gin. I wish they came in smaller bottles, like sample bottles or something, not the full size. So you can figure out which one you like. Because I don't want to buy one bottle and then don't like it and dump.
Well, usually you can go to the liquor store, alcohol beverage store, and you get those little small airplane bottles of pretty much every brand.
As far as I know, you can only order this stuff online in full bottles, and they even have cases. You could buy like six at a time in a case.
For the professional alcoholic.
For the professional gin drinker.
I've never been a fan of gin. I never really cared for it.
Yeah, I've tried it before. I wasn't really fond of it, but it is James May's gin, so I thought it was worth trying.
And for those who don't know, explain to us who James May is.
He's one of the co-hosts for the Grand Tour that recently ended, and previously before that, he was on Top Gear.
And these are British shows?
Well, they are British, and Top Gear was a British show. The other one was an Amazon show.
And what are they
Grand
about?
Tour, the cars mainly driving. They used to do a whole bunch of interviews and everything, but eventually they just went to what everybody loved was the tours they did, where they would get 3 cars and drive around different parts of the world and do challenges.
Yeah, you turned me on to Top Gear, and the most of Top Gear was ho hum in my opinion. But I did like a few of the episodes, especially the one where they went across the southern part of the U.S. And it was just a very interesting episode with all their little challenges and stupid antics that they did.
Yeah, and they went with the Grand Tour. They did the boats. Went to Vietnam, and what was that? The PT boat that he drove around Vietnam. Oh, that was funny.
It seems like they do things just to get rises out of people, just to try to aggravate them, see what kind of reaction they can get. And it's not always a good one.
Yeah, like the time that they were hunted in that one South American country and had to illegally exit the country into a neighboring country to escape from being murdered because of a license plate.
Because of a license plate. What
Yeah,
was on the license plate?
oh, let me see.
So the locals didn't like what was written on it?
Yeah, the number it referenced a war between Britain and that country, where a
Oh,
lot of and it was the people were still alive. The veterans from that time. So those veterans were hunting them down.
wow.
Mm. Oh, so the license plate was H982FKL, which Argentinians,
You said it was H9 what?
Hotel 982 Foxtrot Kilo Lima.
So, yeah, you type that in, it goes straight to Top Gear Wiki. I wonder what that means. Apparently, there was a BBC article that says a Porsche registration plate H982FKL was not deliberately planned to infuriate the Argentines. Well, knowing the guys on Top Gear, it probably was.
Yeah. Although they claim that it was completely random,
Hmm.
but to be H 982, that could be 1982, and then FKL, which is the Falcons War.
See, I'm not too up to date with Argentinian history to know why that's infuriating to them. But
Well, apparently the
knowing,
British tried to take over that country. Like
hmm
but they never learned their lesson for some reason. They still try to take countries, and they haven't had a successful takeover. What since 1775?
was that a successful takeover?
No, definitely not.
So there was the Top Gear episode when they went across southern U.S. I remember they drove that, gosh, what was it, a Cadillac, I think? That said Hillary for president across it
Oh yeah.
and had a bunch of rednecks chasing them. Oh
And
my
then
God.
they had to pull off on the side of the road and rub that shit off.
Yeah, that was not a smart idea. So
Yeah.
that
Well, that
tells me that the Argentina license plate was probably deliberate.
right. April 1982. Let's see. It was between Argentina and the United Kingdom over 2 British dependent territories in the South Atlantic.
Okay, it's interesting. Well, um, I'll tell you, this has been a very uneventful podcast. Really talked about a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and going forward, we may find more of a niche that we fall into. Um, but for the most part, it's just going to be general discussion. And we're going to include some social media. We've got a Facebook page, we've got a Discord, we've also got an email, and we'll definitely be pushing those out and letting everybody know how to contact us. If you want to send us questions, if you want to be a guest on the show, um, and we're going to try to do something where we can have people live on Discord while we record these shows, so we can talk to them and answer questions as need be. But for now, it's just kind of a general chat, get together, talk about this or that. But if you have any kind of questions, comments, or topics you want us to discuss, definitely reach out to one of those social medias and let us know. We'll be happy to include you. So, with that said, do you have anything else you want to add on here before we close this one out?
I don't have anything offhand that I can think of. I could always put it on the next one.
Yay!
All right. So we do want to try to, even though we're not perfect people, nobody is. We're all sinners in the eyes of God. Uh, but that's who Jesus calls us, the sinners. He doesn't call the saints. So I'd like to try to end each show with a new Bible verse. And with our first show, I'm going to start with my personal favorite one, which an aunt of mine, I don't know if it was needlework or stitching, I don't know any of this stuff, but she made like a little picture that was framed in my bedroom for years and years. And it said, Ephesians 6:10. And finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. And that's just really stuck with me for most of my life. It means a whole lot to me. I think for next show, we'll just let Bobby pick one, and then we'll go back and forth.
Okay. Well, I think I got one in mind.
Well, if that's it, then we'll close this out. We'll get the editing process done and try to push this out so our millions and millions of subscribers and listeners who are anxiously waiting will go ahead and have their day where they can hear us. So, all right, Bobby, say goodbye.
Y'all have a good day.
All right, y'all
Till
take
next
care.
time.
Till next time. All right, we'll see you guys.